All right, we're back in the special committee on impeachment inquiry this Monday, December 11th, and we're going to be moving on to some questions for Roger Langevin. Thank you for being here, and I'm going to turn it over to Representative McCarthy.
Thanks for being here. We're going to start by swearing you in. So could you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly affirm that the evidence you shall give relative to the cause now under consideration shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth under the pains and penalties of perjury?
I do.
Thank you. And you understand that you are under oath and obligated to tell the truth just as you would be in a court of law?
Yes.
I want to let you know that we are recording this testimony and we're starting an open session. I have some preliminary questions and a few things to ask. And then when we get to pieces that are not covered or that may be in conflict with an ongoing investigation, we're going to take a motion to move into an executive session. We'll continue to record the testimony, but any testimony that's taken in executive session will be kept confidential during the course of our investigation. But want to let you know that if the special committee does recommend articles of impeachment, all of the recording may become public. And if there's anything during our questions that you don't understand, please feel free to let us know. If you need us to repeat anything or you can't hear us, and if you need to take a break at any time, just let us know. I don't think this will take too long.
All right. Sounds good.
Great. And just to make sure for the record, could you please state and spell your name?
Yes. Roger Langevin, ROGER LANGEVIN.
Thank you. And you were the Franklin County Sheriff prior to the current Sheriff, John Grismore. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And do you hold any title now?
I do not. Nope. I'm fully retired from law enforcement.
How long were you the Franklin County Sheriff?
One term for 4 years, 2019 to 2023.
And could you describe your previous law enforcement experience?
Yep. I started out in law enforcement with the Franklin County Sheriff's Department. I was a part-time deputy for 5 years. I moved on from there to the University of Vermont Police, where I was an officer there before going to the Vermont State Police for 16 years, and then left there to work a few years with St. Albans PD before running for sheriff and ending my career as the Franklin County Sheriff.
So all told, how many years were you a certified law enforcement officer?
All the years included was 30 years.
Thank you very much for your service. How big was the department when you were the sheriff? Like, how many employees did you have?
We had roughly 30 to 33 deputies.
And did you yourself participate in patrol?
On occasion, I did early in my career. Some health issues kind of interrupted me continually doing that. So probably the first year I did some patrol, and then after that I did not.
And were you involved with training and providing training to deputies and staff?
No, we had people do that for us.
And were you involved in the evaluation and the hiring of recruits?
Yes.
And when you were the sheriff, were there regular staff meetings?
On occasion, we had staff meetings. It wasn't regular per se, but we had them on occasion when needed.
During your time as the sheriff, how many towns did the Franklin County Sheriff's Office contract with for patrol services?
We had four or five towns that we patrolled. Some with a part-time basis, where if we had employees or deputies available, we covered some, such as say Franklin or Sheldon. And then other towns we provided regular patrols for them.
Did you have any difficulty maintaining adequate staffing for all of those?
Yeah, just like any police agency had, we suffered the same consequences, I guess, that they did, just with difficulty recruiting and retention was also a challenge to us.
How would you communicate with the town if you didn't have enough officers to cover contracted patrol hours? Like if you ran into a staffing challenge?
The towns pretty much that we took the smaller contracts with knew that. The ones that we took the full-time patrols with, we staff them pretty regularly and really were seldom, if ever, short. But we ended up with some of the other ones without consistent patrols because of staffing issues. But the full-time ones were pretty well staffed with regular deputies.
And was it my understanding that your office was receiving kind of payment that was just regularly and automatic for a certain number of hours for some of those smaller town contracts like Enosburg, for instance? Did you communicate with them about those staffing challenges, and how did that relate to how they were their payments ever adjusted because of those limited patrol hours?
Yeah. At the end of the year, probably midway through the course of a fiscal year, we would look at how many hours that we were either on point or away, just off from our commitment and stuff, and we'd make up as many hours as we could. But certainly by the end of the year, we would do a final accounting, and if we had a number of hours that we didn't patrol, we would reimburse the towns for any hours that we did not patrol that town.
And so you were the Franklin County Sheriff up until Sheriff Grismore took his oath of office earlier this year. Is that right?
That's right. Yes.
And were you aware that in April, legislators from the Franklin County delegation were contacted by the town of Enosburg and asked to come in to discuss a lack of patrol hours during the first few months of the year?
No, I'm not aware of that.
Okay. Great. I think that's all my questions about that. I'm going to turn it back over to the chair because I think our next set of questions we will need to take a motion to go into executive session.
Yeah, so I will take a motion to go into executive session because some of the matters we'll be talking about are related to another ongoing investigation, and also to protect the integrity of the investigation, or in other words, it's necessary to enable the committee to conduct its inquiries. I'll take that motion. And I think we have 5 people here. I don't know that either of the folks online want to use one of your final vote remote cards. You're welcome to, but all right. So I'll take that motion.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
And all those in favor of going into executive session for the reasons I mentioned, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye.